In this video, I'm explaining all the Undertale fan games. At the same time, I'll be rating each of them out of 10. And let me say this up front, I'll be rating them as fan games. So there's no point in comparing them to Undertale itself, or to something like GTA 5. Everything I say is completely my own opinion. As long as you stay respectful, you can share your thoughts in the comments as well. Before we start, I'd really appreciate it if you liked the video, even though the last video got good views. It received fewer likes than expected. Anyway, let's get started. Our first fan game is Undertale Yellow. This is the most comprehensive game you'll see in this video. In many aspects, such as visual quality, battle mechanics, story, and music, it comes very close to Undertale. In the game, we play as a human who falls into the underground before Frisk. Just like in Undertale, we can choose to do the genocide ending or the pacifist ending. It's definitely one of the best Undertale fan games, which is why I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Next up is Dusttale. In this game, after Frisk has committed genocide countless times, Sans becomes aware of everything and tries to stop us by killing his own friends to gain level. When you look at it, the concept is actually quite interesting. Sans sacrifices his own friends to save the universe and starts leveling up to fight us. However, this fan game has two major problems. The first one is the visual quality. Compared to other Undertale fan games, it has very low visual quality. A remake of this game is currently being developed, but I will be rating the original. Since the game has pixelated graphics, this issue becomes even more noticeable. The second bad part is the good ending. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but what even is that? At the end, it's like Frisk is portrayed as a very good person, and they start living peacefully together. This completely contradicts Sans's philosophy in Undertale. At the very least, it would have made more sense if Sans had tried to force Frisk to reset the universe and make them do the pacifist ending. Still, when we look at it overall, we don't see many fan games as good as Dusttale, so I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. The next fan game is Disbelief Papyrus. This is actually a very good fan game. In terms of visual quality, difficulty, and Papyrus's attacks, it's truly great. Even though it consists of only a fight, it still has a proper story and is genuinely very enjoyable. Of course, this fan game is also a bit contrary to Undertale's philosophy. The Papyrus we know would approach the person responsible in a peaceful way, rather than mercilessly, even if he lost everything. Still, when we look at it overall, it's a really good fan game, so I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time for a fan game that you all love, Last Breath Sans Fight. Honestly, I don't like this fan game that much. That's because its best feature is being extremely difficult, and that doesn't really interest me. The visual quality is quite good. Gaster being involved in the events also adds an interesting layer. The attacks are pretty original as well. However, there's basically no story at all, and in my opinion, Disbelief Papyrus, which is also just a fight-based game, is much better than this. So I'm giving this fan game a 5 out of 10. Next up is Ink Sans Fight. The fan game is actually interesting, the visual quality is average. My favorite feature of this game is that since there are so many different Sanses, there are a lot of different attacks, which makes the game extremely fun. What I don't like is that the dialogues are very limited and not very good. The designs of the Sanses could have been done much better. The game is also very difficult and long, so playing without using food hacks can be a bit frustrating. Since it doesn't have a story either, there's not much reason to finish it. Still, it's a decent fan game you can play when you're bored, so I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. Our next fan game is Epic Sans Fight. The visual quality is bad. The attacks are almost the same as classic Sans. There's nothing particularly interesting about it. The only thing I like is Epic Sans' design. If it weren't for Underverse, probably no one would even play this fan game. So unfortunately, I'm giving it a 2 out of 10. Next is Kris vs. Frisk. Honestly, most people don't like this fan game, but I genuinely loved it. There are many innovative mechanics. Just when you start to get bored, Kara shows up and adds new mechanics, which makes the fight extremely fun. The visual quality is very good. The downside is that it's only a fight and doesn't have a story. I also didn't really like the designs of Frisk and Kara, but it's genuinely very enjoyable to play. I had more fun with it than with many fights in Deltatraveler and Undertale. However, the music isn't original, and there are a few other fight-only games that are better than this one, so I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. Next is Bad Time Trio. The visual quality is good, the attacks are good, and the characters are good. but the fact that it's a bit too difficult is a downside. The fan game is very short. If you know the game, it doesn't even last 5 minutes. It also has no story. While it's good among classic fight-only games, it still falls behind. Despite being popular, there isn't much to say about it. Kara's attacks are good and unique, but Sans's and Papyrus's attacks are very similar to each other. Still, it's a short but fun fight, so I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. Next is lab.exe. At first glance, it seems interesting, and it does succeed at being scary, but there's barely any proper fight in the game. The game has almost no content. It's made just to scare the player. Even though its potential and concept are very good, I found it quite lacking. While I felt some tension during the first 5 minutes, after that I just wanted it to end. Sadly, I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. Next up is Deltatraveler. This is a very good fan game. It tells the story of Kris and Susie, whom we know from Deltarune, coming into the world of Undertale. They've made the characters we already knew more interesting and better. The attacks are very well designed. The visual quality is amazing, and the story is very good. I absolutely loved the fights. However, even though they're very close, I think Undertale Yellow is a better fan game than this. That's why I'm giving this fan game an 8 out of 10. Next is Outertale. Many people love this game, but honestly, it's not very different from classic Undertale. Visually, it looks really beautiful, but I can't judge it based only on visuals. After all, this is a fan game, not just a texture pack. Still, they adapted the space theme into Undertale very nicely, so I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. The next fan game wasn't originally going to be included in this video, but it has so many fans that I decided to add it so people wouldn't get mad. Underswap? It's basically a version of Undertale where everything is swapped. For example, instead of Kara, there's Frisk. Instead of Frisk, there's Kara. The leader of the underground is not Asgore, but Toriel, and the one who greets us in the underground is Asgore. Or instead of Sans being the jokester and the strongest character in the game, it's Papyrus. This fan game is very popular, but I honestly don't understand why. It doesn't have any innovative or worthwhile aspect. If you're going to swap the characters, you could at least adjust the dialogues to fit their new roles, but they didn't do that. So unfortunately, I'm giving it a 2 out of 10. Our next game is Undertale No More Deals. The concept of this game is that at the end of the classic genocide route in Undertale, instead of making a deal with Kara, we fight her. Not only is the concept very good, but the visual quality is also great. Kara's attacks are very nice and innovative. It's not extremely difficult either, so you can enjoy playing it. However, what I don't like is that even if we fully complete the fight, Kara still kills us at the end. I wish there had been a way to defeat Kara and see what would happen after she dies. Despite that, I like this fan game, and I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Yes, that's it for this video. Everything I said in this video is my personal opinion, and you can share your own thoughts in the comments. As I mentioned at the beginning, even though our videos reach good view counts, they receive almost no likes. So if you've made it this far, I'd really appreciate it if you like the video. Also, I need to make a statement. I constantly see comments saying that everything is AI and not worth watching. Guys, I personally make everything in the video except for the voice. I only use AI for the voice because my microphone and my English accent aren't very good. Of course, I might use my own voice in the future, but for now, I have to do it this way. Anyway, I think I've talked enough. Goodbye.